How's it going, everyone? Venomous Stare back with more of the German hero Liquid TLO, whose first name is Dario and last name starts with a W and I believe has a V pronunciation. Wunsch, I believe, but don't quote me on that. His opponent, I was focused on the wrong person. TLO, bottom left, Zerg, everyone knows that. Beastie Cutie is his opponent, Red Terran, great macro player, good mech player actually, a player who plays mech but has a win condition. He doesn't just blindly build ravens and hope to float his buildings and cause draws in ladder games. This is a guy who is creative. He does some BCs. He is also a solid bio player and a friend of Moro, who is a Swedish Terran with a cult following. Both of these players are from Europe. TLO from Germany. I'm not sure where Beastie Cutie's from, to be honest. TLO, of course, is going to hatchery first. Nothing special there. He's also going to gas, and he's going to take a spawning pool. Standard stuff looks like it's probably going to be Reaper, so I'm going to kick it up to ×2. Reaper expand. I hate to be a spoiler, but TLO is going to get Ling speed, he's going to get 3 queens, and he's going to defend the Reaper with no trouble, I would guess. Then again, I thought the Viper would beat the Mountain. That one didn't really work out either. So back to normal speed as the Lings are out right in time to deal with Beastie Cutie. Beastie Cutie, however you want to say it. And we see one Marine courageously fighting off this Overlord. Great move from Beastie Cutie to get this one Marine. Not enough Terran players do this. And TLO is now supply blocked early on in the game. This is terrible for Zerg. Look at this. TLO now has to wait about 15 seconds. He has to wait about 10 seconds to not build anything. Now, if you understand the way TLO plays, it's very focused on pumping out lots of drones and overlords early on. And the thing about pumping out lots of workers early on is if that gets delayed or belated in some way, then it's going to affect the amount of workers you produce all game. Because if you can constantly keep the production up during the early game, then that will just kind of scale you into the mid and late game to be extremely powerful. More importantly, I would say, than that, is Beastie Cutie completely eliminated TLO's ability to scout. I mean, TLO is going to send his second Overlord probably to Beastie Cutie's third, or... that's okay. I send mine towards the third, or in a scouting position, or over here. We see that TLO has sent his kind of by his third, which is an interesting adaptation. This map, of course, has a very popular third to attack. Oftentimes tanks can be sieged here, so I suspect that that's why TLO has his overlords there. But that just means that Beastie Cutie's Marine opener was even more intelligent. Because on this map it's very important to deny scouting information. Let's look at TLO's vision, okay? What does he see? Nothing. This could be Blue Flame Hellion. This could be fast 3cc with double upgrades. This could be tank push that sieges here. TLO just doesn't know, and that's all down to that one Marine. And what do you know? It's a little bit of pressure at this third base. TLO is incredibly intelligent. He's German, and he was completely ready for this. Absolutely 100% ready. He had Lings preemptively killing the rocks from both sides, a Queen ready, Overlords to spot, and a Spine. He had this snuffed out to the very last possible iode of the build, despite not seeing it. Excellent play. And he's going to counterattack, which is intelligent when you know that you're being pushed by a very powerful adversary. Beastie Cutie loads up in a tank of as Dario's double Evos finish. He starts to pressure from the low ground. This is a very, very good Terran map because of all the low grounds and the choke points. Beastie Cutie doing some obnoxious elevator play here. I love to see this. Using some creative little tactics, map-specific tactics up against the creative Zerg himself, TLO. And Beastie Cutie is being pushed back a bit, but he kills lots of Lings. If we go to units lost, Beastie's in the lead. But 1-1 upgrades are on the way for our German Zerg, and Beastie QT has delayed his in favor of that push. So Beastie was a little obnoxious, but he was really expecting to shut this third down. And I mean, just he didn't do anywhere near the amount of damage that he thought he was going to do. And TLO has this Liberator play snuffed out, as he has 5 queens. TLO is playing an exceptionally strong macro Zerg this game, defending very well, pulling away, not losing any drones to that Liberator. This is a map that gives Zergs lots of trouble, so to see a Zerg defend against it so well, loses a queen there, really nothing you can do, because if we go to structures, it doesn't have a Roach Warren. Nice. So he repositions the Spore to defend it. This is a very Terran favored map. There's a short air rush distance. The 4th base can be sieged from here, and if you take the gold here, as we see action going on as TLO attacks the army of Beastie Cutie, laying into Marine tank, it just gets snuffed out as TLO attacked right before his upgrades finished. But this is a very good Terran map. They can siege up here if the Zerg isn't ready. Thankfully TLO was ready. The way that it looked was like TLO has played about 1,000 games against Terran players who do these abusive pushes against him, and he was ready for it, and he didn't want to lose to it. He just was so well prepared, and that's nice to see, because I'm guilty of this, and I know a lot of other StarCraft players are, where they're not really conscious of the map-specific builds that you should be doing. They just go on autopilot, and TLO's never one to do that. The upgrade advantage is going to show up huge, as TLO has 1-1 on Zerglings, which if you didn't know is very strong, especially against infantry. These 2 Tankovacs are going to be the linchpin of defending Beastie Cutie's third, as these Marines are going to stutter step forward but take lots of friendly fire. The tank is going to do lots of damage, 11 kills. Beastie Cutie defends his base very nicely, but TLO uses the short rush distance to push again. Beastie needs to split. He stems away. Doesn't have a whole lot of room. He sets up 2 Venn diagrams. TLO is going to run into the natural. But this is why this map is so Terran favored. Beastie can set a tank here and drop it here or here at any point, so this tank is never really at any true risk. And Beastie is going to finally close off these rocks and give himself some breathing room as Dario starts to break down Beastie's rocks. As we saw earlier in the game, he intelligently broke up his 3rd rocks. So, and he did it proactively. The reason I keep pointing this out is oftentimes, even at pro levels, people won't break these rocks down that fast. They'll break them down later in the game, or they'll wait until their opponent starts to push them to try to break them down. The thing that was so beautiful about TLO's defense was that Beastie Cutie did a very good move to prevent him from scouting, and TLO still snuffed out the very strong push. However, TLO is behind as far as supply goes, and he doesn't have a whole lot of tech to speak of. +2 defense is about to finish for our German. He's going to try to run in, but Beastie is very well defended. Where are his tanks? Maybe he's not well defended. As his tanks are cross-map, he did not leave his tanks at home, and that's upsetting. TLO's going to be able to kill some workers here, but I don't think he's going to be able to break into Beastie's main. And Beastie's going to siege 2 Venn diagram Liberators up and a tank on the slow ground. Notice how hard it is for TLO to get to this weak tank. He's going to try, but he just runs through the gauntlet. And TLO GG's. So TLO tries to go for a massling style. He was ready for Beastie Cutie's attack. He snuffed it out, but Beastie Cutie played a strong macro style, and TLO just was not able to break him on this very defense-favored map. TLO showed great play, but in the end he was bested by Beastie QT, who was a very formidable player in his own right. Descriptions of Twitters in the description. You know what I mean.